welcome back to my channel. My name is Anna and this is On a Budget. We are going to close out our budget for the month of November. I am using some old Budget Mom sheets from her Budget by Paycheck workbook. You can buy a digital download, which is where these sheets are from. And I put it into a Happy Planner. As of right now, this will not be my setup for 2024. I'm just reusing what I have, but I do love her closeout worksheets, so I may try to find a way to implement them into my 2024 setup. Stay tuned for that. But basically these are the worksheets at the end of her book. This one is going to be starting out with our debt payment plan. So if you just watched my last video, I just did a debt confession of where we are at right now. But I'm going to go ahead and add it to these sheets too. So for November, let's start with Capital One. And our current balance is $850. And I'm not going to fill this piece out because I intend on having these paid off within the next 2 months. So I'm overpaying and not really doing the minimum payment. But maybe with the truck, I will do these, but not the credit cards. So Capital One has $850. Then we have Chase with a balance of $850. Then we have Best Buy, which is a 0 interest promotion with a balance of $900. And then I am including our cell phones that we are still making payments on because I will eventually want to pay those off early. So that balance is $832. And then our truck payment, or our truck balance, is at $31,118. And so that gives us a starting debt balance of $34,550. So because I'm not doing the minimum payment, I'm not going to have any extra debt payments. We did pay extra because we paid above the minimum payment, but I'm not going to track that for this month. So for the month of November, our total debt payments were $700. So I'm just going to put this 700 over here. Oh, I wish it was 7,000, but it's only 700. So in this total, I'm not including what we paid on Capital One or Chase, because we put current charges on these two, but we were not able to pay them off by the end of November. So I am now listing that as a debt. One thing about our journey is we've been using credit cards for like everyday purchases, like our variable spending, and then paying them off every month, but it's been getting a little out of hand for this is November purchases. So the minimum, there were payments made to these cards, but they paid off basically our transactions, and we're currently paying our December, like for example, our December payments are still paying November's charges. And so for the new year, I would like to build up like a 1 month ahead of our income so that we can pay ourselves at the beginning of the month and then be paying for current charges in the current month, if that makes sense. Like, I don't want to be paying in our current month for charges we did the previous month, if that makes sense. Like, I want to be paying what we're actually paying in the month. And so, but like right now, this is some overage. So I'm counting it as debt. So if we go to the bottom here of our monthly debt progress, let's see, I do have last month's debt numbers. So this is my planner, and in here I keep some, oh, well, since I have this open, let me just go ahead and show you. This was my inspiration to pay off the last $15,900 of our first debt-free journey. I got this visual from Asia Dang, so she also has a YouTube channel if you go check her out. But this was a huge motivator for me when I was paying off the first $68,000. So in my planner here, I have our debt balance of, let's see if you can see that, $33,525.60. I'm not going to include the cents. We're going to do round numbers. So last month's total debt balance was $33,525. And then this balance this month is $34,550, which there you go. The credit card spending added to our debt. So let me just do some math right quick. I have my laptop open next to me because I did my budget closeout basically electronically, and then I'm just rewriting this digitally, or pen and paper, sorry. So our debt went up this month of $1,025, and that's so sad, but that's okay. The point is that we're restarting and we are recommitting. So let's do total debt monthly progress is going to be 1,025 divided by, oh, debt you started with. This may not, let's see. Since we're basically starting currently, give me 1 second. This is basically going to be the same thing because I'm just recording this as our starting point. So oh, I got these backwards, see. Sorry, bear with me. I haven't closed out our budget in a while, so I need to redo. This is going to be the same thing. So since we have an increase, we actually have a negative overall debt progress because we are in the hole even more now. So we're basically at a negative 1%. And this is also going to be a negative 1%. So hopefully these will increase next month when we do our December. Let's see if y'all can see those. When we do our December closeout. So in the next sheet, and so like I don't have, we're not going to start like, let's start basically with this is going to be the first month we're starting these. So if I'm listing our assets, let me open up my planner again. I did do all beginning work with closing out your budget. So if you're new to this method of closing out a budget, basically you need to get all of your ending balances for the month. So like this is the month of November, basically December 1st. You want to get all your ending balances for November. You want to get all your debt balances at the end of November. And then you want to, you can use your bank, but you want to download all of your transactions within that month so that you can see where your money went. So I did all of this yesterday. So we had charges on the Capital One card, we had charges on our Amazon card, we had charges on our Chase card. And so when you're doing your transactions, you have to download those also. So because we were making credit card payments during the month, we're basically offsetting those credit card payments with the transactions that we were charging. So for this, for my assets, I'm basically going to list any cash I have. At this time, I'm not going to include our 401k balances. Unfortunately, we are contributing to 401k, but it's not a priority. So I'm just not going to include those. And I'm not going to include my husband's truck as an asset either. I'm just going to keep it simple. So I'm just going to list basically the cash we have on hand. So our main checking has a balance of $716.60. We have a savings account that has $70 in it. We have another savings account with $70 in it. We have a second checking account at our credit union that has $10 in it. We have a savings account there also, which has $15 in it. And then I do have two high yield savings account that we just started last month. One is going to be for our son's future expenses. This is going to be us saving for him either to go to college or if he wants to a down payment for a house. We'd like to contribute to one or the other. We'll see. So we just started that last month. And so right now they only have a balance of $100. So $50 per paycheck is going into these two accounts. And then cash. So I do have some cash on hand. Let me just pull my sinking funds, and this will be the first time y'all see this because I did my first video on YouTube is a budget overview for December, and so I haven't been able to do a cash stuffing video yet. So my cash stuffing video, my first one, will be after we get paid on December 8th. So this is just my budget binder. And so we can go ahead and count. I have money saved for Christmas. I have money saved for an emergency fund. And then I have money saved for a car. So when I first started my journey in 2019, I just kind of used what I had on hand. So I've been using index cards. Now I haven't decided yet, but I may buy some cash envelopes from the Aesthetic Dollar. her custom envelopes she's about to reopen, but I just haven't decided if I want to do that yet. So this is our Christmas fund, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, $1,000. So that's 1,000 cash. And then currently 0 in birthdays. This is our emergency fund. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 650, 7, 20, 40, 60, 80, 8, 20, 40, 60, 89, and another one. So that's 1,000 in our emergency fund. So that's 2,000 cash right now. And then I am in need of a car, so I believe I've got $100 here saved for a new car fund. So let's check. That's 20, 40, 60, 81. Yep. So I have $2,100 in cash. So let's close that up and stick it back. So let's add 2,100 for cash, which gives us our total assets. Do this on the computer right quick. I do have a calculator somewhere. One sec. There we go. So we've got 716.60 plus 70 plus 70 plus 10 plus 15 plus 200 plus 2,100. So we've got total assets of $3,181.60. So your liabilities, you basically want to relist what your debt is. So to save us some time, I'm just going to put the total over here. It is $34,550. So we're not going to have a total, we will have a total net worth minus 34. So we have a negative worth right now, net worth of $31,368.40. So this is what I was needing. Currently, we're not going to have a change over dollar because I don't believe I have our starting balances for last month. But just when we compare December to November, we'll be able to put a balance here. So for the budget categories, I'm not going to list out all our transactions. Basically, in your budget, you would want to have a budget for all your spending, each category you have in your budget. For me, I don't necessarily care about every category. I just mostly care about our variable spending. So like for groceries, for dining out, and probably like our household spending. Those are the ones that I try to budget, and we should be trying to stay in this budget, but they're not. So these are basically our problem areas, is what I would say. So as a family of 3, I would like to see us spend about $150 in groceries a week. So we would have a monthly budget of $600. For dining out, I would love to not spend more than $40 a week, which would give us a budget of $160. This is a huge problem area for us. We have got to ring this in majorly. This is our pain in the caboose. And then I think I budget about $100 a week for household. So this household is going to include like all our toiletries, anything we buy for the home, anything we buy for our pets. That's going to be all considered under household. So for our monthly spending for groceries, we spent $559 for groceries, which gives us a difference of $41. So we did good there. For dining out, I would like to spend $160, and for the month of November, we spent $546. So we overspent by $386. This is really not that bad. So when we do our budget for last month versus this month, you'll see how much we spent in dining out last month. And it's just ridiculous. So for household, we spent $354. So again, not bad. We stayed within budget for that one by $46. And so, let me see here. Our starting balance for the month of November was $1,326.06. So basically your starting balance is going to be anything you're rolling over from the previous month. And then in the month of November, we brought in $7,645.28. So, that gives us our monthly income of $8,971.34. So now if we take our grocery budget, well, our monthly spent of our groceries divided by 8,971.34 equals times 100. Our grocery budget is 6% of our income. For dining out, we spent $546 divided by 8,971. Can probably leave off the cents. Equals times 100 is also 6% of our income. And then household, we spent $354 divided by 8,971 times 100. It was roughly 4% of our budget. So that's all for this sheet. So this is going to be our debt versus savings. So this is going to show you where you're prioritizing your money. So we're going to bring this 8971 and bring it to our monthly income. So 8971, and I believe this is like a different addition to the Budget Mom. I believe she's changed this to inflow now. I could be wrong, but basically I believe she changed it from not including your starting balance and only including what you actually earned in the month of November. I'm not sure, but we're just going to keep it the same because I don't pay too closely attention to whatever our starting balance is. It's just mainly what I paid in that month. That I get what I am pulling from this sheet. So for the month of November, we paid off $700. So if you do 700 divided by the 89.71 times 100, so almost 8% of our monthly income went towards debt. So in the month of November, we saved $1,000. So 1,000 divided by 89.71 times 100. So we saved 11% of our monthly income. So if we list our debts, it's going to be Best Buy, Capital. Oh, I don't believe I can list these because these were included in our charges. So for next month, I'll probably have a percentage of going towards debt, but I didn't make a minimum payment specifically to debt in the month of November, if that makes sense. So the $700, I paid $100 towards Best Buy, and then the other $600 was towards the truck. So now if you do the percentage of your debt payments for each one, so 85% of our debt payments went towards the truck and 15% went towards Best Buy, which makes sense. This is a 0 interest promotion, so it's not a priority. And also because the truck is a larger payment, it's just where the majority of our debt went to. Now for savings, we saved, I cannot recall exactly what we saved for. I know the high yield savings accounts each got $100 for our son, and then for our house down payment. And I'm just gonna put sinking funds because this was probably split between Christmas and also split between our emergency fund. So the other $800 went towards that. So 100 divided by 89.71 times 100. So these were like 1%, which means this was 98%, which is true. We're saving for Christmas right now, and I wanted to build up our emergency fund. We had originally paid everything towards my student loans, and so even the $1,000 minimum that Dave Ramsey recommends, so I wanted to furnish that back. So now let's move on to the last sheet. So this is going to compare our November spending with our October spending. And so I already wrote out all our categories. And so I will go ahead and write down what we spent in each for October. And see right here is the frustrating. I wrote the cents on this one, but I think I'm gonna just round up. So we're not gonna be exactly on what my spending was. So in home, this includes our rent payment. I did not include it in our household spending, but I do combine them when I do the budget category. So That is why that is different from the previous page. Oh, I screwed this up anyways. I have these opposite on my spreadsheet, and so I was trying to remember to write the correct number, and I still did it wrong. So this is 128 for our son. And so here, last month's credit card charges. This is going back to where I'm saying we're paying for last month's charges in the new month. So this is kind of a filler because this is basically a balance that was owed in October that we didn't pay until November. So we didn't accrue interest on it, but I can't pinpoint exactly like which category it went to. So I've just added a line here for last month's credit card charges. And so eventually I hope to where we're not doing this anymore and we're paying exactly what is on the credit cards and having a zero balance at the end of the month. But we did have rollover for October and November. So that's one thing that we are trying to fix in 2024. So if I'm going back to our income, let's go back to rollover. So rollover is any cash that you're including from the previous month. And so we rolled over 1326. Make sure. Yes, 1326. Okay. So I'm not going to rewrite our categories. These are basically the same categories that we used for both months. So I'm going to go ahead and put in what we spent for November. So 423. Christmas this month we spent 409 in debt. We only paid 700. Dining out dropped significantly. Thank you. Went down to 545. Entertainment 159. Giving was at 850. Groceries at 559. Home we spent 1,554. So this is 1,200 is for rent, and so that's 354 we spent on the home, which is the same as we have right here. So medical, we did not have any for November. My personal spending, another reason why I would like to start this channel, is to stop spending so much money. When we first started our debt-free journey, we were very disciplined and we kind of cut out all spending, unnecessary spending. And so now that we managed to pay off that $68,000, we've put in some slack, put in too much slack, and so I would like to get this more under control now. We can be somewhat lenient, I guess you could say, but we do want to save for a house, and so we just kind of need to reassess our priorities once again, and just remember our why. The biggest thing about your debt-free journey is knowing your why and finding what motivates you to continue your journey. So, and I have visuals like the one I showed you previously of like drawing out what your debt paying off is. There's also sheets you can print from I think it's debtfreecharts.com to help motivate you to paying off debt. Whatever it takes to stay motivated is what you want to do. Okay, so here is our, basically our spending comparison from, this is going to be October versus November. So if I take the 609 minus the 423, we were down $186. Awesome. Christmas, we were up $409. For debt, we paid off $1207 in October and only $700 in November, so that was a change of $507. For eating out, our culprit, it was down $760, so that is wonderful, but then I would like to reel it in even more than that. If we can't, then I'm gonna have to reassess our budget. So entertainment was down by $231, and our giving went up by $92. Groceries, we spent $757 last month. This month we only spent $559, so that was a decrease of $198. Household, we spent $1814 minus $1554. We were down by $260. Medical went down by $21 because we didn't have any expenses. My spending went up by $269. My husband's spending went up by $403. For my son, this isn't necessarily him saying, I want this, even though he does say that. It's more so just what money we're spending on him, just so I can kind of just keep track of what expenses he has. So his spending went up by $221. It's also Mama buying him new clothes. He is all into Spider-Man, so I love buying him some new clothes. So preschool went up by $260. That was just because it was like a 3-month period. Or 3-week period, I'm sorry. There was an extra week. So, and then savings went down by $120. We didn't use savings, so that went down by $30. No change in utilities. Last month, this doesn't really matter because it's last month's charges, but it went down by $54. And rollover doesn't really matter either. To me, our rollover is just what we're saving or budgeting bills like. So for September was our 3 paycheck month, and so we had more rollover going into October because that last check was covering more of the bills that were due the first week of October. And so to me, this is basically just saying we had less bills for December that we need to save for November. So I'm just mainly concerned about where our spending is in the top categories. So debt, household, and groceries are what's most important. So if I get our highlighters out and get a red and green, we can show a positive change versus what I'm considering a negative change. So let's start with negative so that we can then be excited about our positives. So our Christmas, I'm not worried about. So our debt payment went down by $507. That can be viewed as a bad because we didn't pay more towards debt. Our giving went up, which I don't consider that bad. So I mainly want to look at my my personal spending went up. Need to reel that in. My husband's went up. My son's went up. Our savings went down. And that's about it. So those are our bads. Or not good. Let's not say bad. It's just we can do better. So our car expenses went down, which is good. Our car includes our gas, and I believe we also did like an oil change. So it is what it is. So I'm just gonna leave Christmas blank. Our dining out went down, so that's huge. Entertainment went down, that's good. Giving went up, yes, let's bless other people if we can. Groceries went down, yay. Home went down, good. Medical went down, good. Preschool went up, that's okay. It was based on the weeks. We pay $260 every 2 weeks, so. And then our saving usage went down, so we'll take that. And we'll just leave that at that. So that is a look at our budget for November. So you can use these worksheets to kind of prioritize what you didn't like in the previous month and what you can work on better in the next month. So for December, we're going to have a lot of Christmas spending, which is okay. We have a savings accounted for it. We'd like to keep our dining out budget down and keep our grocery and household spending in line, and probably spend less in personal for December. So y'all have seen basically how I close out my budget, and I did post a video of our December budget overview, so you can see where we budgeted our money to go for the month of December. When we get paid after December 8th, I will post a video of basically a budget by paycheck. We typically break down our budgets by paycheck, so I will come out with a budget by paycheck for the December 8th payday, and then I'll also have a cash stuffing for any cash that we are going to pull out of the bank. So stay tuned. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Comment if you would like to leave me any comments, and please subscribe if you would like to. Thank you again for watching, and see you next time. Bye!